No problem. All right. All right. Today, Maggie and I are going to be talking about networking, right, Maggie?
Yeah, and like the new way of networking moving forward. So Ivan and I, we were talking last week, and with everything that's happening with Corona and with the country opening up the way that it is, something that we need to notice and make peace with is that the way that we know networking, it's not going to go back to that. So we have to make best with what the tools that we've learned now and incorporate them into our networking skills that we had before. So we were talking about, what does that look like? Sorry, did you want to say something, Ivan?
Oh yeah. I actually, we just need to think about how people's views on things have changed. It may probably go back maybe in 5 years or so to the way it used to be. But I'll tell you, I think that there's a definite desire for things to go back to normal. I was commenting with Catherine earlier that I went to the Burlington Mall. What is that? Meadowlands, or anyway,
Mapleview.
Burlington. Okay. So the first thing that we noticed when we pulled off the highway was that the parking lot was packed. So that was an indicator that something was kind of getting back to normal. And the mall was packed. And then we were able to sit and have lunch in the food court. And even though they separated out tables, the food court was packed. People are lining up, not really socially distanced, right? Lining up to get their food and sitting down and eating. And of course, you look at the table area, and since everyone's eating, no one's masked. Right, they're eating their food. No one seems to be too stressed about it, and I realized that there is a hunger for people to want to get back to normal, at least in their day-to-day lives and shopping and things like that. I have to also comment to Maggie that it was really good to see people spending money. It was good to see them spending money, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so, and it's funny. So there is a hunger for people to go back out there, but there is also a huge percentage of people who are, they have that residual COVID now in their head of like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. So that that anxiety, I heard it all over the radio these last 2 days. The medical professionals are now talking about medical anxiety, and now that we're starting to give vaccines to letting the vaccines being open to children, and under 18, that nice hot spot, talking about that anxiety. And so there's a lot going on in people's brains. So when we talk about, how that's going to affect our networking, especially, parents too, how are they going to think about this? We started talking about what, digitally, how do we keep that momentum going? If we can't always have, those nice networking events where everybody had a booth and everybody's walking by, those are coming back, but they're going to be limited. So capacity is going to be limited. So how do you keep interacting with the masses? How do you hybrid yourself appropriately and to the productive level that you're looking for, to make sure that you're reaching those same amount of people that you would have in the past, that you would have in 2019?
That's right. Okay, so
to say something, Ivan. Dave,
sorry.
Merrick, Dave.
That's okay.
Yes.
I answered it both. That's okay.
Okay.
Maggie, I put out a poll, just a small group on here in Windsor, and about 30 people or so. I asked them, would you be interested in either a socially distanced, park type setting for a networking event? Would you be interested in an indoor networking event, patio networking event? What do you feel like? The majority of people responded very well to the idea of the park or socially distanced event. Right. There was a decent amount of people that responded to the patio events as well. Not so many to the indoor events at this point in time.
Right.
So I think you're right. I think people are going to have to look at their situation, their different, in their locations, because different places, different things. Toronto's a little bit more, unmasked and get together,
Yeah.
and they were doing that in the middle of the pandemic. So
Yeah.
but other areas might be different. So you're going to have to look at your location, see how people are viewing it down there, and act accordingly. But I think those types of hybrid events you were talking about, where you have and I'm not just talking strictly networking events at this point in time, where you have both physical and the ability for people to come in through Zoom, or you have a large screen set up so that you can have kind of like a large Zoom screen on a large screen, so that people can actually, and a camera set up so that people can actually see what's going on, and sort of be there without being there type of thing.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a little bit more of that for a while. But I agree with Ivan. That's probably not going to be a long-lasting thing. I think people really they want to get back together. They want to do all the stuff that they did before. They just have to get that comfort zone going, and then they're just going to, try and jump right back into the way things were before.
Absolutely. Listen, I want to set this up, but also, folks, I just realized that I haven't even opened the show. So I'm going to do that right now. Folks, I want to welcome everyone to Morning Coffee with me, Ivan Sutton, of course. Thank you. Good seeing everybody. Good seeing Christiane. I know that you're up north someplace enjoying the great outdoors. That's socially distanced for you. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I just want to go through a few announcements, folks. Today, right after this, of course, members, you can stick around. We have our work group lounge until noon. And of course, that it seems to be more like a discussion about all kinds of things, whatever you want to talk about. So definitely stick around and you can join us on that. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, we have the Business Builder Mastermind with Sherry Lozier that goes till 2:30. And then on Wednesday evening, we have our investing club, but Wednesday at 3 o'clock until 5:30, we have the Hamilton Business Networking at the Sankofa restaurant here in downtown Hamilton. So come on out and join us on the patio. It's going to be good times. They're really looking forward to having us there. So we're excited. The other thing is on Thursday, we have the networking event happening out there in Mississauga at the Big Rig Brewery, right? Restaurant. So we're going to be out there in Mississauga at noon until 2:30 in Mississauga. So I think that's basically it for the events, right, Catherine? That's everything. Oh, awesome. Good. So today with the topic of networking, we all remember what it was like to go out, and it was really cool. You could go to a networking event. There was a lot of hugging and eating wings together and talking and conversation and schmoozing. And we all kind of think that's really good to get back to. But I know that even as I say that, some of you are thinking, well, sure, but maybe not. So there's still a little bit of anxiety, even as we see things opening up. People have a little bit of fear. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, believe it or not, people have a little bit of laziness. Some folks just don't feel like driving all the way out to some restaurant, parking, spending money on wings and beer and then driving home. They just don't feel like doing that anymore. Right?
I'll be the first to admit, I have to worry about what I wear.
Yeah.
Right? We made sure we have nice shirts on and our hair's done and our face has been washed.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about much else, did we?
That's right. I'm still wearing my onesie from my waist down, right?
Here's the question, Ivan. Do you think, in your opinions, that Zoom networking is going to just kind of dwindle off and go away, or is it going to be here to stay?
I think it's here for
I can't even answer that for you. I think that everybody here probably has a good idea. Who wants to jump? How about Stephanie? What are your thoughts?
I think, as Merrick was saying earlier, I think it's going to be a hybrid. I think some people are going to want to have, like Catherine was saying, be done from the waist up and stay at home and in the comfort of their home and not have to drive. And then other people are dying like me to get to see actually physical people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Right.
also the, like the topic of people who aren't in major cities, like if you live in like a suburb or you don't have a car and it's hard for you to get around, but you really want to network, just making, getting a way to contact with them. Or like over this last year, I was actually able to jump onto some networking calls in like Europe and like South America. And like, that was super cool. I didn't always know what was going on, but, it was nice to be there. But and I do have, some friends as well who that's how they've been networking. They've been networking around the world like this. And that's not something that I think that's something that a lot of people aren't going to want to give up. No. That they had that opportunity to connect with, like-minded people in London or in Australia or New Zealand or wherever. So I think it would be important to keep that conversation open, to keep those Zooms there and have someone who is comfortable leading the hybrid, being able to be active in person while also communicating with the online presence with the people who can't be there, or, maybe they don't want to put on pants that day, so they don't want to be there.
That's right. Aiden.
Yeah, it's definitely here to stay. I really strongly believe it's here to stay because, I know that, when you're going to do live networking again, there's always going to be people who can't attend for various different reasons. And some of them being because they got young children, right? And they're going to still want to tap in. They may have very young babies that sleep in the afternoon, and they could still watch them. They could still tune in because they're sleeping at that time, right? But they can't go anywhere because somebody has to look after them. Anyway, so basically, I think it's here to stay because of that reason. I think people are still going to tap in. I think there's always going to be that aspect of doing it live plus having it virtual as well. You're going to do both. You're going to do both at the same time. You're going to have it live, but you're going to have an aspect where you're broadcasting it on the internet as well as you're conducting it live.
Okay. Linda.
Well, I just wrote an article yesterday about therapy because everybody's been coming to therapy in Zoom calls or over the phone, which is a total switch from what therapy usually is, which is in person. And a lot of therapists, right, not myself, but have given up office space and given up because they had rent and overhead in office space that they weren't using because nobody could be in person. So now it's the question is, you go back to in-person therapy or are people more comfortable over the phone? It's just such a convenience because some of my clients can make appointments from their cottage and talk to me on the phone that way, or if they're at work and they take a lunch hour or something. So I'm hoping most of mine will stay in person, but I have lost a few because have online because they wanted to go in person.
It means, just think about it. I mean, as a therapist, I get the vision of, the therapist couch, right? People can actually stay on their own couch, right? I mean, how much more comfort is that? Anybody else's thoughts on that?
I just think that I think the biggest thing that this was normal. First of all, I want to applaud anybody who has a stock that's invested in video software or any tech company, because that would have been real smart about 2 years ago. Anyways, to add on to like what Maggie was saying, that like most companies who have like clients internationally would have gone on Zoom naturally and be on Zoom all day long for like 8 hours. So I think people's mentality of like oversee and like even an hour away got smaller of what is the need for Zoom. So people thought, okay, I'll use Zoom to talk to my cousin in Scotland or my family in the States. But now the like bubble itself has gone smaller. Like I'm in Burlington right now, and I, like you just said, Maggie, like I don't drive. So I'm here and I thought, this is weird. I'm not in Hamilton today, but still like it would have been hard for me to get into the office or to come in today. So I'm thankful for this. And I think hybrids are the future. Because
has anybody seen a hybrid done properly?
Yes.
Okay, explain it to me because I haven't yet. So
Go ahead,
how's it
Maggie.
look?
So that I have like two examples. One of them was my Ryerson graduation. So
Wow.
I, yeah, as a lot of us have graduated from various different places. The way that it worked that day was my dad was in Montreal, my mom was with me in Toronto, and my brothers were at home in Ottawa. I only got 4 tickets, so my sister came with my nephews and my mom came. So to make sure everybody could still see me walk across stage, they did have the live stream. Everybody was mic'd properly. They did have a tech. I know that, this is Ryerson University. They have money. So, everything I'm saying, taking small tips. But they were able, like my dad was able to still see me, hear my name called. He was still able to see like all my credits, whatever. And my mom was, in the audience. She couldn't hear actually as well as my dad could because he was watching on the internet. But it's something that, I think of is we're going to need tech savvy people. So, like is Thomas here today? Yeah. We're going to need like the Thomases of the world to help us make sure that we're thinking of our feedback. We're thinking of the Wi-Fi connection. We're thinking of like mics and video and tech support. Cause like when I followed up with my dad after, he said like, if I had missed that, I would have been heartbroken. So he was really glad that he could log on, even though he couldn't physically be there. And my mom, who was, happy to be there and everything, just making it like accessible for her because she does have a disability. So making her like able to like get up and down the stairs. So it's just like little things to think of. But it's a lot of things, a lot of little things to think of. So we, making those checklists when we're thinking of hybrid events of what do we need like in person? And then what would you do for your Zoom call? Making sure you have 2 people running it, but they are communicating with each other.
Here's a question then. I just want to ask this. How many of us prefer live events?
It depends on the event, I feel.
Live business networking events. How many of us, how many of us prefer Zoom networking events? Fascinating, eh?
Well, I'm alone.
There you go. Okay, so is it Margot? Okay, tell me what it is that you prefer about Zoom events, virtual events.
So there is an efficiency to it that to me translates. I am a Salesforce consultant. So I jump in and I help people customize their instances, right? I help them develop new processes. And my time is absolutely my money, right? Which is all of this. And the amount of time I would lose in driving and in some of the more chitty chatty small talk. And I will say that digital networking or Zoom networking, take your pick, has really cut down on what I have seen as, it's not that it's rapport building because you're not actually engaging with the individuals, right? They have wings. Yeah. Okay, cool. But that doesn't tell me anything about what I can do to help you grow your business or what you might be able to do to help me grow mine, right? That's the whole point of us being there. So rather than losing 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, or for some of the longer range networking events, like I was driving up to Chicago for certain meetups, that's 8 hours of driving because I live here in Indy, right? I'm losing 8 hours of driving where I could be working, right? So if I can jump on and be like, hey, let's talk about why embracing a hybrid model is better for example, for a real estate office, right? All your employees are 1099 anyway. Let them go run your sales meetings remotely, right? If they want to run live, let them run live. If they want to run digital, let them run digital. 6 1/2 dozen the other.
Yeah.
But what's funny, just to add to that, Margot, is that I've been in business networking events that have, supposed to be going from 5 till 7. That's 2 hours right there, by the way. And they're still going at 9 o'clock at night, right? And you're still hanging out talking about, all kinds of really cool things. But at the end of the day, these business networking events, for the most part, they're an hour. And just think about how much you get done and how much networking and interaction that you actually get done in an hour. I mean, even ours, we have a conversation that goes for about 40 minutes and then we network. And I find that our networking portions, we're really kind of digging deep, right? In a lot of them where we're actually trying to figure out specific things that we can help each other with. So the efficiency factor, I think, is totally high. What else do those that love live networking events, what else is it that you like about it? I know that Stephanie just loves the human contact, right? I mean, we all love the human contact.
Ivan, I'll go. I just like the fact that I can get more done in a day. So if I had a 2-hour meeting somewhere, I'm going to maybe have to drive a half hour, 30 minutes. And then that's more extra work time for me now. I could be at home working right to the minute of the meeting and then whatever,
Jump
right?
on.
So it's
Especially if you're going to Toronto, it's sometimes when you're going to a major city, you can't go, well, okay, normally it's 45 minutes, but it's at this time, 5 o'clock. So I better and it's raining. So I better give myself like an hour and a half or 2 hours. That's
well, I was gonna say too, is that for my hybrid, I was in a program where we were hybrid with the University of somewhere in Australia, basically, Griffith University. And we had a student like in our class, like on a computer, basically, for most of our classes every single day. And I think the only thing he said that was the downside was the time difference, because I can't remember what the time difference is between here and Australia, but it wasn't an optimal time for him to be out of class. So I think that's the only downside I see to Zoom at this point. But as far as but I've also been to hybrid networks where people have been the presenter was on a screen on the wall, basically presenting to the room, which they do at all conferences all the time, especially if you're Marvel and you need to have one person that is from corporate that needs to go back to doing work then in the next hour or something like that. That's the only benefit I see to Zoom now at this point, other than obviously during the pandemic. So
here's one other observation I'll make, and I'll let Maggie jump in after this, is that I've been to networking events where, it's got a lot of people and they're in little cliques, or it's one of those, you ever walk into a networking event where you think, oh my God, they're all sitting at a table. That sucks. Now I'm stuck on this end. And it's really awkward because as soon as you get up, every eye's looking at you. Who's he going to go talk to? What's he doing? Right. So for me, and then you're trapped there the whole night, and then your time runs out and it's time to go. And you never talk to those people at the end. Right. Whereas here, everybody hears you. And the thing I love about this is that as we respond to different questions and everything else, I mean, the questions and the conversation, is almost, it's important because we're talking about important things, but it's really about us getting to know each other and hearing how we feel about different things, right? I'm thinking, this person's thoughts kind of align with mine. I kind of like the guy, or I kind of like the girl. You know what I mean? I think that we can do business together. Anybody fits into the category of just being shy and ends up sitting by yourself hoping that someone will come over and talk to you at a networking event?
Definitely.
As much as people don't believe this, yes.
Why do you think I go to the bar?
That's right. Because someone
Not
will
that I
talk
don't
to you
go
at the
to the bar
bar.
anyway, but
That's right. Yeah. I started the bar, and of course, by the end of the night, I'm singing songs, and it's terrible. But the point is that
you don't even drink,
right? Okay, go ahead, Maggie.
Yeah, so it's funny that you bring that up, because I think I mentioned to you that I get shy, and I do feel like in past networking events or anything I've gone to, I feel like sometimes I've had to catapult myself into a conversation. Like I'll just be waiting there. I'm like, okay, and my cue, and then I'll say something that I think is relevant or funny or charming. Whereas for someone like me, doing online events, I feel like it's easier for me to chime in. It's easier for me to find cues or dead space, or have someone throw the floor to me like you did, Ivan. But in networking events, it is a skill to be able to just know the natural cues, to feel confident enough to go up to a group of people you've never met before and just tell them what you're doing and get them intrigued. And it's really important. I think it's also, it's your personality, right? do you have that personality to go out to those types of networking events and be the type of person that, you know, you need to be, or your company needs you to be in that moment with that group of people?
It's still hard. I'm pretty confident in myself. But when you walk into those situations, like Ivan was saying, or I've stood in a group of 3 guys talk, and then you walk up and you think, okay, I'm going to wait my turn. And then they all stop and look at you and you go, oh, wasn't ready for that one. So much for that witty response, right? And they go, oh, what do you do? And we talk for like 3 minutes, and then they go, so we were talking about, and you go, okay, now what? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody find that you actually have more trouble hearing in-person events than you do on Zoom? It's more like, wait, what was that? What was that? And
But everyone yakking away at different groups, and it just can get loud, and you know,
especially if you're at a bar.
So you know what? So here's the thing. Let's talk about how to maximize the digital, the online virtual events. How do you maximize your impact on them, right? Because they all kind of are a little bit different. I mean, yeah, they have the conversations, or they have a presenter or whatever it is, and then it comes the go around where you're nervously waiting for your turn to say something, right? And then you say it. But what about the rest of it? Because right now I'm looking at every single person in the room at the same time. Isn't that cool? Right? And I could tell, I could just see everyone's behavior. I'm making judgments. I'm not a bad guy, but you know what? We all do, right? So like I'm envious about Neil. I mean, he doesn't need to network. He's got this big house in the background with a pool. Makes me a little jealous. I'm just saying.
I want to know why you got
a fake background.
The only thing I find missing is the one-to-one conversations. So sitting here, I can't say to Catherine, pull her aside and say, okay, here's the code for my course, blah, 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 whatever. There's just none of that interaction, which is really hard because those are sometimes key interactions.
Okay, so for the folks that have actually been here before, right? We do the go around, and we ask, like last week we had a really good discussion where I asked you if there was a business that you don't have access to right now that you want to have access to, if anybody knows. And there are a lot of people who said, yeah, hey, I know people in that place, or I know people who work for that government, I know people who I can connect you with. Do those actually yield, or are we still waiting for those connections? Or how many of us actually followed up with the people who said that they can connect us?
I think Linda and I did.
Good. Okay. Anybody else? Stephanie, I think someone was connecting with you, right? Did it actually?
Yeah, it was funny because this morning I was like, it's on my list. I need to connect back with her today because she might be here and she's going to say, Stephanie, why haven't you reached out to me?
Oh, okay, good. And I know that everyone wanted to talk to Yuri, right? Because I'd like to know if I want to make sure that the stats are better digitally than live, because we know what the numbers are like live. You get a business card from people, and very few people actually follow up. Mm-hmm. So those that have gone out, and I know that we got some quiet people here like Noah and, but listen, if you have it sense that you're getting a better turnout from live events, let me know. I'd love to hear, or virtual events.
Well, Ivan, I'd like to ask the question. So you're running, Hamilton is running the hybrid, right? And this week, this Wednesday, the 21st, right?
Is that hybrid? Okay.
Why not?
Surprise! Oh, hey, you know what? It's hybrid, sure.
So, well, let's give it a try. So, if people from Burlington or Mike, I forget, where are you from? You're up north, are you not from us?
I'm in Vaughan.
Oh, okay. Well, that's north. I'll take it. I'm kind of right? Christiane is in
downtown
Toronto, right? Like she may not want to come in. Those kinds of things. How would you like to see, if you were able to make the meeting, how would you like to see it run as a hybrid? So, Aiden, I know you got your hand up. Sorry.
That's okay. Keep going with what you're going to do, and then I'll chime in after.
Different question? Okay. or
And you know what, actually, Catherine, before we get to that, I really want to know if people find live or virtual better for actually connecting with the people who you either give information to or you get information from.
I'm kind of like Linda. I enjoy this, that we get to see everybody and find out what everybody does or needs or has to offer. But then I like the ability to go in after and go, hey, let's do something that's advantageous for your clients and mine. And what do you think of this? And you can do that brainstorming right on the spot. Because Linda and I are like a week later on our second round of brain.
So another good example is if, like you said, Ivan, when we did the interactions, like if somebody says something, then the whole group hears it. You know, like, oh, I'm looking for this or I'm looking for that. But if it was one-to-one in a meeting, we wouldn't know what they're talking about, and it could have been beneficial to that person. So that's one nice positive about meetings is we all listen and hear the same thing.
But are you actually getting more business out of a virtual connection, virtual networking, or out of live networking? Or is it just a perception that it's better?
Is everybody just calmer?
More definitely more business out of virtual.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else sense that you get more business out of the virtual meetings since we started doing this? Really? Okay, Margot, that's cool. Anybody else?
Yeah. I think it depends on your industry, you know.
Okay.
I found that when I was doing in-person stuff, and I still want to get, I'm looking forward to get back to that, but I was.
I think you're frozen there, Maggie. I got this sense. I got the sense. You're in the middle of the
that I see a lot of people really
Okay, Maggie, I think you're a little frozen.
I was promoting my travel more than I was the content writing anyways. Oh, am I? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good now. You're good now.
You're good now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd say I was promoting the travel more than the content. And I was finding that, you know, like most people I was connecting with weren't really interested in travel writing. So, but I found that I was more, plus I'm also tend to be shyer.
Right.
So, and
you know what,
like
Maggie?
It's hard for me to go up to a group of people.
But you know,
I go to the bar and let them come to me.
And you know what? The bar is the best place to be. And you know, Maggie, just to add to what you're saying is that when you say something to one-on-one, like you walk up to somebody in a networking event, right? You're saying it to them specifically, and they may not be interested in travel writing, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But yet, when you're saying it to a group like this, then there's so many different ears listening to you that have different connections that can help you, right? So I think that, you're being heard by everybody in the room. I think that's hot. Stephanie.
I was just going to say one thing. I've always coached online. And so now it's easier for people to understand. When they would say, how do you coach people online? I don't get it. Now, I mean, and you're right. I was sitting here when you were asking that question. I have definitely, my business has grown and I have connected with more people because of COVID, because of being online. Like because people understand it, but also because I've been in rooms where people are gravitating to the message that you're saying. And like you said, you have that bigger audience instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I'm not knocking live events because I love live events. And yes, I do like to have the wings and sit down and have drinks with folks. Okay. But the point is that, you know, someone posted on a Quora discussion saying that, you know, what do you do if you want to network? This is just a quote. Okay. What do you do if you want to network, but you're nervous about close, face-to-face, unmasked conversations? What do? You want to network, you want to do it live, but you can't. All that breathing in and out.
You have to make a decision. I mean, I'm not in that position because I couldn't care less, but you know, I have no fear.
But you can always keep your own mask
make a decision what's comfortable.
So Teresa, you said
you can still keep your own mask on.
Okay, and Thomas said something there too. That brief time that he just jumped out.
Sorry, I was saying that I had like in person, no masks, no, like that's fine with me. Like my comfort level has always been, I've never really had an issue. So I like, that's not the problem there would not be an issue there for me. So.
Okay. So Teresa, question. So if you go someplace and you're talking, but the person that you're talking to has a mask on, do you feel like they're saying something about you? Or do you think that's just general?
In my head, I'd probably go both ways. So I'd think, okay, maybe they think that I could give them something, but I don't know them. So I don't know if they're protecting themselves from, like, they might have an underlying issue, right? That they need to have an extra protection. So they're keeping it on. It was really interesting. We went to the park, me and Tanis yesterday. She kept her mask on the entire time, which I didn't tell her to. She didn't need to. And none of the kids had it on, but she was just so programmed and comfortable keeping it on. She just kept it on. It didn't faze her at all. And me, I'm looking around thinking, should I take my mask off? Because I don't really care, but nobody else has their mask on. And she was not fazed by it. So I just thought, you know what? It's in my head. No one else cares. They might look at me and go, okay, she's retarded. She's got her mask on. But, they don't know me. I might have an underlying issue that I'm going to protect myself, but I'm protecting myself. No one else has to worry about it, right? No one
How
else.
many people don't worry about it? How many people do not worry?
I was gonna say I went camping this weekend and I found that it was super chillax where people wear masks at camping. First of all, there's obviously the outlets, like where you go to the main washroom, nobody. The park, nobody. You even went into the office to like go get ice or whatever, nobody. Like it was so different. And even like you went into town like 10 minutes away to get a Tim Hortons, nobody. Like I was just like baffled. I'm like, and I'm an out of towner and I was like, I'm just gonna wear this. I don't care. But like you have to. Like I don't care enough to, like, if there's multiple people in a room who aren't gonna be wearing it, I will be the one who will wear it. Because I'm not going to cater to what they think is better. I'll probably be wearing a mask until at least next year. Because that's how much of a worrywart I am. But anyways.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a whole new world, 2.5 hours north of Hamilton.
So how many people are totally comfortable not wearing a mask and being around people that do not wear a mask?
Completely.
Completely.
I have the opposite. I have the opposite issue. One, I can't wear a mask. I tried once and I said, that's it, never again. Secondly, I actually prefer people not wearing masks.
All right.
I'm almost mask phobic in a way. Like I hate people in masks. I really do. I mean, I'll deal with it because, if that's the way people are comfortable, I accept it. It's your choice. It does bother me.
Right.
And it's right from the beginning. And I'll tell you something else. Like last year I lived in the Falls, and until they brought the mask mandate in, you hardly saw anybody in masks. Even when the restaurant opened, when they opened on the patio or even inside of it, some of the servers, they would wear the mask some of the time. Or some of them would have down on chin, if they had to put it on. Others would stop wearing it at all. They might wear it first couple of days and then they stop wearing it. You go in the grocery store, hardly anyone was wearing a mask, including the staff. The same with public transit. It wasn't until they brought the byline and then everyone started wearing them. But before that,
well, Maggie, the thing about you is that you're totally relaxed, you're totally chill, and that's what I love about you. So that's great. Thank you so much. And you're also holding our mug. So Maggie,
yes, I am.
I've been using it a lot. You are definitely a rock star to me. Okay, so there you go. Anybody else? Okay, so
on masks?
No. Please, no. I don't. That is such a rabbit hole.
I've had my hand
Yes.
up for a
No.
while.
Okay.
You're
talking
how far this goes. No.
Okay, go ahead. I'll shut up.
So, hey, folks, listen. We are at that time, right?
Well, Aiden just said he's had his hand up.
Yes.
So.
Sorry,
for a
Aiden.
long time.
Sorry, Aiden.
That's okay. So all right, this is going back a while now because I've had it up for a while. But anyway, but yeah, I prefer in person than digitally, to be honest. I like hearing people's stories. I like the intimate encounter. Basically, getting to hear another person's story is something that you just don't get to encounter on a Zoom call or any of these other online things that we have, because they're very limited. And so we don't have a whole lot of time to work with. And so we have to be very short and brief with our answers. So you don't have time to talk about a story. You don't have time to sit there and just socialize with a person. You don't. And so that's what I like doing. And I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of connections that I can connect people with. And I feel like every time I go into a networking event, I can help somebody because I have so many gazillion people that I have that are contacts of mine. So, I can always help anybody. There's nobody I don't know that I can't help. And I'm connected to all the legal professions here. So, I can help anybody with legal problems. So that's another thing that I get into when they talk about their story and they share personal things with me. As soon as they start going into something that concerns legal problems, boom, I'm there connecting them with my legal professions.
Okay, well, you know what, Aiden, you also bring up a nice point, and I'll touch on this very briefly, and then we'll move on to networking. And that is that some people, like me, I'm kind of on both sides, but some people go to networking events and they're precision bombing, right? They're getting in there and they're right, taking out the targets. Me, and then there are others that just go there because they socially just want to get out and have an excuse to network and just schmooze, and all that stuff. They're in it for the experience. It always reminds me of my mother. When I go to the grocery store, I have 20 things on my list. I'm in the grocery store for 3 minutes and I'm done, right? Where I go with my mom, and my mom wants to go up everything that she needs is in this section, but she'll go up every aisle and it'll take 2 hours. She enjoys it. So for me, I get it. Some people just love to sit down and listen to the stories and everything else. And other people just want to get there, make the connections that they need to get their business cards, and then get an emergency back, right?
One other thing I wanted to say was that I don't find that I get a lot of business through online and through virtual. I do not find I get a lot of business that way. Mm-hmm. I get a lot more business in person.
Cool. Well, it's a personality thing. And so listen, folks, if you want to stick around, please stick around after. We have the work group lounge. We call it lounge because then you can kind of sit back and relax and talk. So please do stick around for that if you wish. Okay, so today I'm just going to have people just go around the room and just tell us who you are, what you do, and I want you to put your information in the chat window so that everybody else can know who you are and what you do, and then they can reach out to you if they love what you do. So I'm going to start off with. I'm going to start in my lower right. Thomas, you're up.
And I was going to put stuff in the chat right now, so you caught me. I'm on my phone. Morning, everybody. Thomas from MLP Technologies. We are located in Windsor, Ontario. We're a managed service provider providing technical solutions in the areas of IT, security, and communication for small, medium-sized business. Our goal is to take the hat off of the technology hat off a business owner. Anybody who's interested in not having to deal with the technology on a day-to-day basis, feel free to give us a shout and look forward to meeting with all of you.
Awesome. Great. I'm going to go with Margot.
Sitting here typing like, oh, I should write down what I'm going to say.
That's right. It's because of the microphone, Margot. I see the microphone. I see that you look like you're completely hooked up. So
I run a meetup for Twitch streamers, so I kind of have to. So my name is Margot Duff. I am a Salesforce architect. Right now, what I'm doing is working for a small FinServ company out of Miami who are looking to take the bias out of small business lending by automating it and using data learning. So machine learning, big data analysis, super cool stuff. what I am hoping to do here is to meet more people. I kind of ended up on this on a whim, to be real honest. I was like, stand-up's ending early. Oh, cool, a networking event. Let's go. So what I'd love to connect with are things that will either give me the capacity to do more Salesforce consulting on an individual basis for businesses, primarily administration, small bits of development, or things that would be good connections for the current, I guess, main stakeholder that I'm working for out of Miami, which would be US-based attorneys, US-based, and I am here in Indianapolis, Indiana, by the way. I was like, oh, I should probably say that.
Great town.
Thank you. Like I have anything to do with it. So we're launching a product here in the next couple weeks called case financing, called Level Up. Long story short, trial lawyers have to front all the costs for getting witnesses and depositions and all this stuff. And it can be really, really pricey and really like impossible for independent practitioners to do. So we started putting together this case financing and level insurance product, which would allow you not only to finance those costs of bringing a case to trial, but also allow you to kind of bet against yourself, for lack of a better way to put it, or insure the case so that if you do lose it, your expenses that you have to put out are covered. Right.
Amazing.
So that's kind of where we are today.
Wow.
Weird
Really?
Stuff. I know. Sorry.
No, just okay. Mind blowing. Okay.
Yeah.
That you turn that into a product that you, anyway. Okay. Catherine Davies, you're
Hit
up.
me up later.
Yeah, sure. It's just brilliant business model. Catherine, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Catherine Davies. I am the city leader for Stony Creek, as well as I run Life's Emergency Training, which is an online and in-person first aid, CPR, and AED training company. We specialize in industrial and commercial. So I am really looking to get in touch with larger construction companies like Acorn or Dufferin or Rankin, or it can be even like paving, like we've got Coco Paving ripping our street up in front of us. So whoever their HR or any contact at one of those large companies, construction companies.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, Teresa. Okay, Teresa going once. Teresa going twice. Okay, Maggie.
Which one?
You,
Okay.
Maggie.
All right. I am a freelance writer. As I mentioned, travel is my real specialty, but I can write for just about any industry. We all need content these days. You know, content is king. And not everybody wants to do their own content. You know, you may, you're busy running your business. You don't have the time. You don't have the skills, or just the inclination. Well, that's where I can come in. I can, basically, I can write for your social media, your blog posts. I can do full articles. I can do something for your website or newsletter. And I look at you and I look at your company and I'll find what's unique about you. And I'll use my writing skills to help you get noticed. And that's basically me. I'm a writer.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Maggie. All right, Noah. By the way, I like the hockey moment there. I just said.
I know.
All right, you're up.
I didn't know him. That's why I didn't say anything the whole time.
That's right.
I'm sorry for the Toronto Maple Leafs that took them out of the.
I'm not.
That's good. It's good, man. It's good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm new here. Happy to meet you all. My name is Noah St. Pierre, and I'm running a health supporter service. And therefore, what is our main goal? The greatest wealth is health. And therefore, we have an approach recommended by many doctors and naturopaths from Germany and Switzerland. And that's what we're trying to introduce in the society, greater health awareness. And therefore, we analyze the diet of the people. We try to find unique solutions in their situation. Exactly. Thank you very much.
Nice. Very, very good. Okay, make sure that your information is in the chat window there, Noah. That'd be awesome. All right, Sheila, you're up.
My name is Sheila. I'm a shopping annuity advisor. I basically help people level the playing field because let's face it, the one thing that's in common with pretty much anybody is that we do spend money, and usually that money just gets flushed away and never comes back. But this, I guess, this vehicle allows us to be able to capitalize back on the spendings that we do have to make. And I have a focus on helping people eliminate their debt as quickly as possible. And with that, it means literally saving thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right. Thank you so much. Stephanie.
Good morning. I'm Stephanie. I am a holistic nutrition coach and wellness stylist. I live in Brantford, Ontario, so outside of Hamilton. And I help women 40 plus take their 40 plus symptoms and flip those into their superpowers so they can feel, look, and sleep better, energized naturally without drugs, diets, or crazy workouts.
Awesome. 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 How about men over 40? Okay, with that different conversation. All right,
Different
we're going to move on. All right. You're on your own, pal. Okay. All right, Mike, you're up.
Good morning. My name is Mike Shirzadi. I'm a licensed mortgage specialist. I help people to buy their dream home by providing them a mortgage. I can also provide you a mortgage, refinance your current mortgage to for a debt consolidation. Definitely, I cannot talk about mortgage in 1 or 2 minutes here. That's a lot of stuff to discuss, but I put my information in the chat. You can reach out to me anytime. I work 24/7, 365. So you can reach out to me if you have any questions.
Mike, you have such a welcoming smile. Listen, Mike, I have to ask you a question for you. So the Toronto, the GTHA, what's the average price of the house? Because I'm going to ask Mark about Indianapolis, the average price of a house down there. What's the average price of a house in Toronto?
In Toronto, it's they announced it last week, $1,075,000.
$1,075,000
Right.
is the average price of the house. It's funny because about a couple months ago, I was looking to see if I could find a house in Toronto that was $500,000, a detached house, and I found one under $600,000, and the whole back of the house had been burnt out, and so so go ahead.
Toronto?
In Toronto, yeah, the back of the house was burnt out. They're selling a burnt out shell for $500,000. Anyway, Margot, so tell me about Indianapolis. What if you know?
Yeah, for single family detached, you're going to be looking at anywhere between. With zero inventory, it's a little harder and prices seem to be a little inflated. But over the course of the last, let's say 3 months, you're going to be looking at around average 3.2 is going to be 210, 215. Wow. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 210, 215.
Wow. Great.
There's only like 1.2 million of us in the Indianapolis metropolitan area. So, which is like Marion County and then the surrounding 8 donut counties. So,
right. Amazing.
Yeah. And we're talking 10 million in our area, right? GTHA?
Yeah, GTHA. We're big. Yeah. But I mean, just to think about it, I mean, it's just too far to commute, but man, okay. Aiden, you're up.
All right. Oh, good. I'm already off mute. So basically, my name is Aiden Lefebvre, and I am the curator of Grace Gallery. I do have other businesses on the side as well, but I have a Christian art gallery here, and I have all kinds of different artists here. 23 artists represented, and they're local, national, and international artists, and they're all looking to be wonderful artists that are looking to decorate your home or office and give blessing to your home or office space.
Beautiful. Nice. Thank you, Aiden. Okay, Maggie M.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Maggie. for those of you who don't know, I am the office administrator here at This Great City. So I take care of all the scheduling, the updates, all of that. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I did drop my information in the chat. It's really great seeing you guys, and it's great being here. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Maggie.
Great.
That's right. Okay. Lindsay.
Hey everyone. I started my company about a couple months ago doing social media advertising, and I've learned a lot through it on a news front. So I'm actually switching gears a little bit now to my new company. It's called Fearless and Social, where we talk about the news. We're going to be doing food reviews now, especially that step 3 is in place. And we're also going to be doing tips to start your own business, basically. So I dropped all the handles for Facebook and Instagram in the chat below. So
awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Lindsay's mom. Oh, sorry. Linda, go ahead.
Lindsay's mom. Yes, I'm Lindsay's mom.
I'll slap him, Linda.
What's that?
I'll get him for you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm a CBT practitioner, which basically is a cognitive behavioral therapist. I work with individuals who require help with anxiety, depression, phobias, addictions, most of the mental health illnesses that are out there. And I wanted to quickly mention to my Girl Power program, the registration is open for that. And what that is it's a meeting group, a program, for 4 weeks. And the teen girls from 13 to 17, we get together on every week for 1 hour, and we talk and build their self-confidence, teach them about how to problem solve bullying, and just being able to be grateful in what they have. I ran this in the spring, and it was really well received. The girls that came out of that program were totally different girls, and so much more with confidence, self-esteem, and really felt really good about themselves. And I even got 2 messages from parents saying the same thing. My daughter is completely changed, and, really appreciate it. So it's a very good program. And that's signed. The registration's open. I do have it on This Great City, and it's 4 weeks for $99 an individual. So that's what I really wanted to talk about today. Thanks.
Awesome. And you have it do you have a coupon on that on This Great City as well, Linda?
I will. That's what Catherine and I were talking about. Yes, I will put one up.
Okay, awesome. Because then it'll show up on the homepage, and we'll push it out in the newsletter. All right, Sunny. Save the best to last. And you're on mute.
Yeah,
awesome.
Still new to working with the Zoom. I think you muted me earlier because of the dryer. But I'm Sonny Thomas. I'm owner-operator of 5-in-1 Flooring. I install laminate, hardwood, carpet, vinyl plank, and vinyl tile.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you. A little bit of crackling on your microphone, but I'll try and clean up as much as possible when I do the editing. Okay, so hey, Teresa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So I am a owner and partner of my agency. We're a marketing company, and we do web design, SEO strategy for your marketing, as well as marketing your designs. And if you need anything that has anything to do with marketing or anything underneath the umbrella of marketing, please give me a shout.
Awesome. And of course, I'm Ivan Sutton. I'm the city leader for Hamilton, Ontario, here in beautiful Canada, although I love the US. One of my favorite spots is Galveston, Texas. Love Galveston, Texas. Anyway, folks, thank you guys for joining us today. I really hope that you got something out of this. Hope you learned something. Hope you got to get a good flavor for everyone that's here. If you're not a member of This Great City and you'd like to be, you can do so by joining, go to thisgreatcity.com/join. And then, of course, don't forget that right afterwards, we have our work group lounge. Just stick around. I like saying the word lounge. I don't know why it is. Anyway, second, of course, Wednesday, we have our networking event here in Hamilton, right? We have, and that starts at 3 o'clock, goes to 5:30. And then at 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, we have Investing Club with Stephen Lee. Great show. Please join us for that. Just great discussion about stocks and other investments. And then, of course, Thursday morning, we have Catherine Davies for Tech Talk. Catherine, sneak peek.
Actually, it's going to be guest starring Thomas, our Windsor
Thomas.
section. Yeah.
Awesome. Thomas, what do you got for us?
Well, since I finally started playing around with Office 365 more, I've come across a bunch of sweet little applications that are included in the subscription.
Cool.
I've become quite addicted to them, so I'm going to go over them a little bit and kind of show people how they can use them. And I'm going to be one of the ones I like is the whiteboard, and I'm going to show a couple of whiteboards that I've created, so you even unfortunately get to see what's going on in my head. So
good, and you're going to demo that for
Oh,
us.
then we need Linda after, right?
I don't know if you can help after seeing what I've got out there. So
Cool. I'd really love to get a demo of Salesforce, but I'm just saying, because that's a complicated behemoth. I'm just saying, behemoth.
I mean, essential. You can get a free dev org and start playing around yourself. That's how I started learning
Free.
back in 2016.
All right. Free.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're going to have to check that out. All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody, thank you. And if you haven't put your information in the chat window, please do. And I'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll see you at the networking event. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
It's sunny.